Hi, my name is Melissa van Dijk, and in this video I'm going to show you how you can use CeraVe Skin Renewing Nightly Exfoliating Treatment, which is a new product from their Renewing line, and it's an exfoliating acid serum. Now I want to share with you some information about the product before I'm getting started with the frequency, example skincare routines, what to avoid, and the entire application, because there's more to that than just applying it to the skin, and it's important to note how you're going to use it when including it in your skincare routine. Now this serum contains 3 essential ceramides which can help you to balance and restore your skin barrier. Then we are working with licorice, which is a brightening ingredient, and lastly they are using 5% of AHAs, which is a blend of glycolic and lactic acid, and those are the exfoliating acids that can help you to loosen the dead skin cells on the skin surface, which then can help you to improve fine lines and wrinkles, sun-damaged skin, overall surface hyperpigmentation and dullness, while at the same time helps to increase the hydration within the skin. Now you can use it on all skin types, since it is a very lightweight lotion-like texture which feels nice on the skin. It's not too heavy. However, usually glycolic acid and lactic acid are more so suitable if you have normal to dry skin due to how they work, and if you have an oilier skin type they usually refer to salicylic acid, which is BHA. So I do want to give you a heads up of this when using it, and you feel like, well, I have oily skin and I feel like it's making my skin oilier, then this may be the issue. However, if you have oily skin, you're currently using it and it's working well for you, go ahead and keep on going with it. You need to adjust the entire skincare routine accordingly to your skin type and needs. And so when using it, what's important to keep in mind is that exfoliating acids make the skin sensitive to the sun. Therefore, they are pointing out that you should use it nightly. So you're going to include it in your evening skincare routine. This is the simplest way, because you do not need to worry about sun protection, because you're going to do this just before going to bed. However, this does not mean that you cannot use it during daytime. You can use overall in general exfoliating acids during daytime, but then keeping the focus on sun protection afterwards when being exposed to direct sunlight is really essential, so please do not skip it. However, if you aren't that fussy about sunscreen, then my best advice would be using it only in your evening skincare routine. And so this would be when you should use it. So use it in your evening skincare routine. This would be my simplest and best advice that I can give you. Overall, this is a very gentle blend where they are just using 5% of AHAs, which is nothing too harsh, and they even say that you can use it on sensitive skin. This is again where I recommend being careful with it, because glycolic acid especially is more common to sting or burn on sensitive skin. So if you should come across stinging or burning when using it for the first time, then it's maybe not the percentage but actually the exfoliating acid that they are using. So keep this in mind when using it for the first time and listen to your skin. And so when including it in your skincare routine, as they already mentioned, you can use it nightly. So you could use it daily in your evening skincare routine in this sense. However, depending on your age, your skin concerns, as well as how much exfoliation your skin actually needs, you need to adjust the frequency on how often you're going to use it. So if you have, for example, let's say you're in your mid-40s, 50s, or even 60s, you probably can use it nightly, like daily in your evening skincare routine without any issues, because like the way on how your skin naturally works, by removing the dead skin cells or loosening the dead skin cells on its own to reveal the new skin cells underneath, slows down. So therefore your skin in that sense may need more exfoliation than someone, let's say in my age, I'm 26, I do not need to use an exfoliating acid daily in my skincare routine, because if I would do this in my specific case, I end up with irritation. And so you need to adjust the frequency accordingly. If you aren't sure how much exfoliation your skin needs, my best advice would be start off by using it 2 to 3 times per week in your evening skincare routine, once per day, and then see, well, does this work well? Keep on going with this frequency. Do you feel the need of using it more often? Then increase the frequency, then move up to every other day, and then maybe up to daily. However, if over time you are using it, for example, daily in your evening skincare routine, during the first months everything was fine, however you then come across a point where you may like feel stinging or burning on the skin, or you may come across redness or like weird looking pimples, then those are signs of irritations. And then it's best to either give your skin a break, because then it may not need that much exfoliation anymore, and then slow it down, like reduce the frequency on how often you're going to use it. So always adjust it, because it should help you to improve your skin concerns, not make it any worse, or it shouldn't stay the same. And so when working with it, please adjust the frequency. This is basically the key point when working with exfoliating acids in general. But then another point that I do want to mention is some example skincare routines and what you should avoid. And I want to keep my focus mainly on CeraVe products, but I do know that, for example, my subscribers love exfoliating acids from The Ordinary. They love like products from The Ordinary, from Inkey's List, and there they have different products where I recommend being careful when using one of those and combining it with an exfoliating acid. So if you do not have any Ordinary products, or like from any other brand at home, then that's completely fine. Then your routine is going to be very simple. If you mainly want to use CeraVe or Cetaphil products, then there's nothing to worry about it. Like, it's not really needed to worry about it, but it's more so when working with other specific, like high percentages ingredients. And so if you want to keep the routine very simple, you can use this exfoliating acid on its own, or use it in a skincare routine and basically apply it before applying your moisturizer, which of course depends on your overall skin type and needs. So in case you say, well, I want to use it in the morning because I'm using other products in the evening, which I have to use in the evening, then of course you can adjust it. So an example routine would look like this if you're planning on using it in the morning. So you're going ahead, start off by washing your face using a suitable and gentle cleanser for your skin type and needs. Please do not use exfoliating acid cleansers, because we're already working with an exfoliating acid serum. Wash your face with your cleanser, rinse it off, pat the skin dry. Then move on to the application of CeraVe Skin Renewing Exfoliating Treatment. Apply it to the skin, leave it on the skin. It's a leave-on exfoliant. And then either just leave it as it is. However, when being exposed to direct sunlight, my best advice would be following with sun protection, which the easiest way would be using a moisturizer that already contains SPF, or a regular sunscreen that feels nice on the skin, does not irritate your skin, and actually protects the skin. So again, sunscreen during daytime, doesn't matter if you're using it in the morning or evening, is important when being exposed to the sun, because it makes the skin more sensitive and can lead to a sunburn quicker. So therefore, please don't forget to protect it. However, if you now say, well, I just want to use it in my evening skincare routine, then go ahead and wash your face, again using a gentle cleanser that's suitable for your skin type and needs. You may want to do a double cleanse depending on what you have worn throughout the day, like sunscreen and or makeup, to make sure that everything comes off. Wash your face, rinse it off, pat the skin dry. Then move on to CeraVe's exfoliating acid treatment, apply it to the skin, and then either stop right there or use a moisturizer afterwards if you should feel the need. And then make sure that you're using a moisturizer afterwards that's suitable for your skin type and needs. So either a lightweight one if you have an oilier skin type and if you still should feel the need, or use no one at all. If you have a drier skin type, use something that's a bit richer. And so there you have an example of a morning or evening skincare routine when including it. But again, don't forget sun protection. And so this is now one way on how you can simply use it, because it's like an hydrating serum and exfoliating acid serum in one, so you can keep the routine very simple and yet hydrate the skin while exfoliating the skin. However, if you now say, well, I have, for example, retinol at home, vitamin C, The Ordinary peptides, then I recommend being careful with certain combinations. Now, when it comes to the actual conflict, then it is exfoliating acids and The Ordinary peptide serums, like any of them. So please do not use them in the same routine, keep them separate, because The Ordinary says, well, when using our peptide serums, do not use it in the same routine when using exfoliating acids. So either use your peptide serum in the morning, your exfoliating acid in the evening, or alternate between them if you want to use both in your evening skincare routine, but do not use them together in the same routine. So this would be one example where you actually have a conflict. However, when it comes to certain combinations, it's not about that they actually conflict with each other, but it's more so that it can lead to sensitivity, because the combination and the frequency plays a big role on how often you're going to do this, because then it can lead to stinging, burning, redness, sunburn feeling, like type of sensitivities, which are very uncomfortable. And so one way would be retinol. Now, I know that CeraVe has the renewing like retinol, they have the resurfacing retinol. In this case, they have a pretty low percentage. Well, it's not known, but because it's not known, it needs to be a pretty low percentage of retinol. So depending on your age, you may be able to use them in the same routine, but then again, the frequency overall plays a big role. So it's not like that they conflict, but it's more so the more often you're going to use it, and depending on your skin tolerance and what your skin actually needs, it can lead to sensitivity. So if you're unsure about this combination, my best advice would be keep them separate at the beginning and play around with the frequency. How often can you use the exfoliant? How often can you use your retinol without coming across any sensitivity? And if you do notice that your skin is really like has a nice tolerance and you know that you can use them in the same routine, then try it. But again, if the slightest signs of sensitivity occur, please keep them separate or give your skin a break. So that's one way, since they have a pretty low percentage of retinol. But if you're not talking about retinol serums or creams that have like 0.2, 0.5, like 1% of retinol, especially the 1% of retinol, keep them separate, because exfoliating acids and retinol in the same routine, and if you would do this daily or the frequency is still going to be too much for your skin, it can lead to actual sensitivity. This may not happen right away, since retinol gives you a late response to how it actually like works well for your skin. So if after some time, let's say 2 to 3 weeks, you have been going with this routine and now all of a sudden irritation occurs, then it's probably because you have used them too often or because you have used them in the same routine. So therefore, keep an eye on when working with exfoliating acids and retinol. The same would apply to high strength vitamin C. Now I know CeraVe has a 10% vitamin C serum. In this case, this may not be the case unless you have very sensitive skin, then it can lead to stinging or burning. But other than that, you could be fine using them in the same routine. But if you are now talking about like a 20 or 30% vitamin C serum where they actually use ascorbic acid, the pure form of vitamin C, then my best advice, keep them separate. Use them in like alternate routines in your evening skincare routine to make sure to get most out of both products, but that you're not going to end up with skin irritation. And so those are mainly the key points that I do want to point out. And one lastly would be, please do not use this exfoliating acid serum in the same routine with other exfoliating acid serums. So keep them separate. If you should have like a BHA at home as well, keep them separate, alternate between them, or use one in the morning and the other one in the evening. But again, keep an eye on the frequency. So those would be overall the guides, as well as what you should avoid and being careful with it, that it's important to emphasize when working with an exfoliating acid in general. So if you find those like example routines helpful, if you want to go over those guides in your own time, you can download them in the description box down below and use them as a helper when setting up your skincare routine. But this is mainly what I wanted to share with you when it comes to the general information, how, when you're going to use it, and what you should avoid when combining certain products. But now I want to keep my focus on the actual application. So I have several cleansers right here. Those are all gentle cleansers. They are all from CeraVe. If you have a different cleanser at home, feel free to exchange it as long as it's working well for your skin type and needs. And as long as it's a gentle cleanser, not an exfoliating acid, go ahead and use it. So I'm going to use CeraVe's Hydrating Cleanser, which is great for normal to dry skin. Since I feel like this is more so suitable for normal to dry skin, that's why I want to keep my focus on such a skin type. And so if you have a different one, please make sure to read on the back of the packaging on how you should use your cleanser, because the directions can sometimes change if you need to apply it on dry skin or on wet skin. In this case, I have to apply it on wet skin. So now the first step that I'm going to do is now wetting my face and neck and hands with lukewarm water to warm water. And you can either do this above the sink or wash your face in the shower, whatever works the best for you. Just make sure to properly wash it before continuing with the rest of your skincare routine. So let's go ahead and do this. Then use about 1 to 2 pumps of your cleanser, about a coin size amount. Then rub your hands together and gently massage it all over your face and neck for about 30 seconds to a minute. Now make sure to read on the packaging if you can use it around the eyes, or if you should avoid the eye area, then please follow the guides. So once you have massaged the cleanser all over your face and neck, you now can go ahead and again rinse it off with lukewarm water to warm water. Now in case you should have troubles removing the cleanser a bit better from the skin, or because you're trying to remove sunscreen or makeup, use a fresh and soft washcloth in between which you're going to wet, and this can help you to remove it a bit better. So now go ahead and take a fresh towel and pat the skin dry. So now once you have pat the skin dry, you can immediately move on to the next step, and this is the application of the exfoliating acid treatment. Now when applying CeraVe's exfoliating acid treatment to the skin, please make sure to avoid the eye area. So please do not use it on top of your eyelids, and please do not get it too close to the actual eye, because this area is a bit more sensitive, which can easily lead to irritation and sensitivity overall. But other than that, you are fine to use it gently all over, and please do not get it into your eyes nor into your mouth. If that's the case, rinse it immediately with water. Now, since this one is a very light lotion-like textured serum, it has a pump and you can use about 1 pump. This should be enough for your face and neck. However, if you feel like you need to add a bit more, depending on how it blends and how your skin is going to absorb it, you can use a bit more, but please do not overdo it, because the product should be able to lightly blend all over, so you have a thin layer all over, but actually absorb into the skin. So it shouldn't sit on top of the skin surface. So this is about the pump. Use it between your fingers and then gently blend it all over. So, and once you have evenly blended it all over, you're going to leave it on the skin. There's no need to wash it off. Now, this is going to be an example of an evening skincare routine. So depending on your skin type, you can stop right here and just use the exfoliating acid after your cleansing step, and that's basically it. That's how you can do it. But depending on your skin type and your needs, you may now want to follow with a moisturizer afterwards, and that's completely fine to do. But again, make sure that you're using a moisturizer that's suitable for your skin type and needs. I'm going to use CeraVe's PM Facial Moisturizing Lotion, which is a great lightweight lotion for all skin types. However, again, if you have something else at home or you want something like richer, then go ahead and replace it. But the amount of product that you're going to use and how you're going to apply it is going to stay the same. So I now went with 2.5 pumps, about 3 pumps for my face and neck. And if you have a drier skin type, you might want to use a bit more, but just make sure that you're using enough so that you can blend it evenly all over your face and neck. So, and once you have applied your moisturizer all over, you're going to leave it on the skin, and this is then going to be your last step in your evening skincare routine. However, again, please don't forget sun protection during daytime. If you want to know how you can properly apply a moisturizer with SPF or a regular sunscreen, I have a specific video for you in the top right corner with the application so that you can properly apply it to protect the skin. Now, this is what I wanted to share with you on how you can properly use CeraVe's nightly exfoliating treatment. I do hope that you enjoyed this video, that you find it helpful. Don't forget to download the example routines in the description box down below. And if you now want to learn more about skincare and how you can properly apply it, I have several videos on my YouTube channel, and I'm going to link some of them at the end of this video so that you can keep on watching. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you soon in the next one. Happy skincaring! Bye!